All right, welcome back. We are going to be doing our daily search. We left off in Genesis, the second chapter, and we are going to be jumping right in and picking it up at Genesis, the third chapter. Let's go. The temptation. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So this right there kind of lets you know we are not talking about an apple tree as kind of is erroneously lined out in a lot of doctrine theories. No, there's no apple that you can bite of that's going to make you wise as the gods and all of this and that. So that's just kind of something to think about as we're reading. Again, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw, and we're getting into the fall of man now, that was really quick. We're in the third chapter, and we've already failed. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife, notice, wife, we still ain't got into Lilith and all these 6th day versus 8th day creations, didn't heard them all. We can get into that later, but again, we just reading the scriptures. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the tree of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So let's talk about something that's funny. He said, Hey, I didn't do it. The woman that you gave me, she beguiled me. She got me to do it. You was the husband, dude, and you the one when you saw her said, Hey, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. But now that you in trouble, because you were disobedient, you like, hey, that woman that you gave me, she told me to eat. Whereas probably truth has been told, if she would have eaten and told him to eat, and he would have been like, no, I rebuke that, we wouldn't be in this trouble today. But then at the same time, and this is just a little sidebar, a lot of people say, that's not fair, Adam and Eve messed it up for everybody. If I was there, but you are there. Because, the Most High said, I put before you this day, life and death. Choose which one you going to follow. So we all have the same choice that they have. And we all have made the same mess ups of disobedience that they have. I don't think anybody walked this earth that has not done that, minus Christ. But let's get it. The curse. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. So think about that. Until dust shalt thou return. We'll kind of talk about that in later chapters. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And to Adam also and unto his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. Man sent from the garden. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. Think about that tree of life that was in the garden, and who that is. And just think about that when we get to later chapters. So he drove out the man, and he placed at east of the Garden of Eden a cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So now you have these cherubims guarding the tree of life. So just really think about that and picture that. Who is the tree of life, and these cherubims guarding it to keep man from, in essence, becoming God and learning to live forever. So keep that all in mind. We're going to end it right there with chapter 3, and we'll pick it back up with chapter 4.